TRC volunteers. I wanted to create this video really quick because there's going to be a couple of you that aren't going to be able to make our training next week. And so I just wanted to review some of the information that we're going to talk about next week. Because really the information for those of you who are returning to TRC it's going to look familiar, and it's really just an update of the activities, programs, goals that we had from last year. So the first is here on our TRC website, which again should look familiar to you from last year. The current URL for this is the ygmtrc.com/2320-Tipton. This is just so that we can keep this private as we continue to work on it, and it's not that public URL that we'll use actually during the campaign. So you can feel free to navigate to this and familiarize yourself with the content here, and just know that domain will update when we actually go live. So as we go through this information here, the campaign chair that as a group we chatted about and selected was Jan Smith. So she's going to be joining us this year. Had great success last year with Matt Lambert as the chair, and looking forward to continued success this year with Jan jumping on board and having really excited about the TRC for the chamber. So as we go through our goal last year was $50,000 in total, all in, when everything was collected. We actually raised close to $54,000. So currently we have the goal set at $60,000. We're going to do another review of this, so that could fluctuate up a little bit. We have some really exciting programs, events, and ideas that we think can help push us even higher. But again, that'll depend on some of the feedback you guys have, and then our success ultimately through the TRC. So as we begin to scroll down, we get into our signature programming here. And that's going to be our award celebration, golf invitational, and that Let's Go Clubbing event that we had, or we're getting ready to have next week at Topgolf. So again, trying to get that on the schedule for this coming year. Maybe recognizing that this time of year isn't ideal for that event. So we might be looking at putting it somewhere else in the calendar for 2023. But all this information, except for the Let's Go Clubbing, will look familiar to you. The award celebration, nothing there has changed. All we've done is updated some pricing because, again, as we've learned through doing some of these new programs and events, some of our goals, some revenue expectations, we learned a lot through that process. So there are some minor pricing adjustments along the way, but all that information, at least from a sponsorship perspective, should all look the same to you. So and for those who may not remember from last year, but if you have a question on an event, you can actually click on this event title. And because we've done such a great job this past year collecting videos and images, we actually have a lot of these videos here for you that'll help communicate to the members of the Chamber of Commerce their value, their purpose and focus. So for example, this is a short one, 43 seconds long, that we were able to capture last year. And it's just a quick video that highlights some of the action and the excitement of the event. So feel free to use this, either the description or the videos that we have to communicate to our members. Okay, so you guys get the point there. So as we jump back then, and then once you collect an understanding of what the event is, you can then jump into each individual sponsorship. And again, most of you, I imagine, are already familiar with what this looks like. But we have the cost associated with it here at the top, and then the benefits that go along with those sponsorships. And so what we learned from last year was the communication of these sponsorship benefits and opportunities probably need better communicated, and that's our responsibility. Not necessarily use as a volunteer, though, to have that initial conversation with them to help set expectations is important. But we're going to do a better job too on the back end, that once we have the TRC commitments, sponsorships agreed to, that we're going to follow up with them consistently to make sure that they understand what it is they've signed up for so that they can get the maximum benefit from that sponsorship. And then, as a volunteer, if you're having a conversation with an individual who wants to sign up to be the award celebration presenting sponsor, in this screen, you actually click on View and Print Contract. And so once here, all of our members are uploaded to the system. And if for some reason a member is not here, please let us know that and we can make that corrective action. But all of our members should already be listed in this drop-down for you to make that really easy. If they're not, again, you can either contact us or there is this opportunity here to fill in their name and information that helps us get them into the system. And this happens on occasion because a new member may join the Chamber of Commerce at this time during a TRC. And so, of course, they wouldn't be in our system yet. So that's a quick way for you as a volunteer to get their information into the system to make sure that their sponsorship is recorded timely and accurately. And then from there, as we go into the contact, and this is going to be that individual from the company. So if we went to an example, I would just select 10 West because it's the first one. That contact is obviously Brett Morrow. So because they're in our system, it's going to auto-populate that, which is really simple for you guys. And then as we continue down, the other information that we need to know to move forward, the sponsorship cost, if it doesn't already pre-fill that, again, it should pre-fill it, but in case it doesn't, and then your name. Part of this with the TRC is to provide you with some incentives and some recognition for your success in helping us be successful. So we had some interruptions last year that didn't allow us to fulfill some of those obligations, but this year we're doubling down and we're going to make sure that we get you guys compensated and rewarded for your volunteerism with the Chamber of Commerce. So make sure that your name's filled in there, your team name, and then the date. And again, this is going to keep a tally of how successful you are in the campaign. So make sure that that's filled in. And then once you hit submit, that'll actually send a copy to that point of contact. So for that example is Brett Morrow. He's going to actually get an email that says, "Hi Brett, we appreciate your support here at the Chamber of Commerce and willing to be the presenting sponsor for our award celebration." And it'll again send him those exclusive benefits or the sponsorship benefits for that sponsorship. And then he will actually sign that contract. Again, we want this to be contractual because we want them to keep us honest and we want to keep them honest because they've signed up for the sponsorship, seeing some business value to help them be successful. So they'll sign that contract. We'll get notified that that contract's out there waiting. So if need be, we can follow up with them. But last year, through our experience, that was really quick and easy. Everybody was sent the contracts. Everything was signed pretty quick. And then once contracts are signed, on the back end, the staff of the Chamber of Commerce, will create the invoices and deal with the accounting side of things. So I hope that gives you another quick rundown of how that process works. Again, it should be just a refresher to you, but that'll work for all these events, of course. And the other probably important detail for you to know or to remember is, for example, on this presenting sponsorship, if we go over to the right, it says one available, and that means we only have space for one presenting sponsor. And as we come down here, the gold, we have 3 gold sponsorship opportunities for our award celebration. So those will fluctuate based on event. I don't think that there's any case where we have more than one presenting sponsor. We really want to focus that marketing and advertising opportunity on one individual who stood up for the Chamber of Commerce. So, but as we go down there, you can obviously see there's opportunities for varying sponsorship opportunities based on categories. So our foursomes, we have 32 available. We usually have 18 to 20, but in the case that we had 30, we could have 2 flights for the golf outing, 1 morning session, 1 afternoon session. But just understand that also limits how many can be sold. In some cases, why it's important to make sure that you contact those individuals early on who may have an interest in a particular event. So as we get past our signature program and we get into networking, we're actually adding a new networking opportunity, and that's our business before hours. We've had some success in 2022 with the business after hours, but some of the feedback we were provided was that people didn't necessarily have the availability to go after work. Either it's children, other obligations, volunteer activities, board of directors, serving on city and county councils, what have you. So we're going to relaunch. Again, this is another relaunch because the chamber used to do Coffee Connects. So we're going to do a business before hours. Again, this is going to offer up the opportunity. If you have someone who wants to be the second quarter host, this individual will sign up for this sponsorship. And not only does that reserve their location as the host location, but then offers them some opportunities to provide some door prizes, some other accessories to help welcome them to their place of business, and then allows them an opportunity to give a tour if the tour is appropriate for their space, so that they can best introduce themselves to the people who are coming to our networking events. So for this, the expectation is that they all range in pay for donuts or any other type of breakfast foods, and then coffee, of course, another easy food drink for the event. So again, scrolling back down, we'll have 4 of those. Actually bleeds into the first quarter of 2024 because of when we're doing this, the time of year. Similar to last year, again, you guys should know that. But the first one will be in the second quarter this year, third quarter, fourth quarter, and then first quarter early next year. Again, getting into more new opportunities are digital and video. And you guys know we've had a lot of great success with digital and video in 2022. So we're looking to double down, in this case, triple down on some of that activity. We're going to launch 2 more video series. So we launched the Tipton Experience last year that wasn't part of the TRC. Actually, the idea came to us after the fact, after TRC. But then furthermore, we weren't sure how it would be received by the community, so we wanted to beta test it in 22. And what we found out was that people really enjoyed not only video, but also the Tipton Experience. And so I'm going to take a quick pause here, jump over to our YouTube channel, some analytics here, and just to give you some appreciation for that. In 2022, we had over 172,000 impressions on YouTube, which is where all of our videos were stored. So this isn't exclusive to the Tipton Experience, but it is all the videos that we produced throughout 2022. And we had over 1,500 hours of video watched in 2022. And keep in mind that most of our videos were less than 5 minutes long. So that's a ton of viewership for our videos from 2022, which is exciting. So again, we're doubling down on some of that activity. We're going to do a Grown Here. This is going to be an ag-based video series. Again, we all know that ag is an important part of our heritage. We continue to hear about. We have a lot of businesses who are focused on the ag industry. So taking the time to explore some of those, even businesses like Park 100, for example, who might fall into 2 categories here, but they're considered agricultural because they're in the food manufacturing business. But we do have Overdorf Farms as a large egg producer in the county. We have Shopmer Farms, a pig producer, pig pork farmer of the year a couple of years ago. We have plenty of seed manufacturer producers in the area. So it's going to be taking the time to have conversations with them, similar to the Tipton Experience, getting a behind the scenes look, but then may involve some other opportunities to introduce some humor or get to know these entrepreneurs, leaders in our community a little more. And hopefully maybe even get an opportunity to get behind the scenes with like a Cargill or a Co-Alliance, organizations that we know of and they support our community, but maybe know little about. So we're really excited about that one. The second one that we're excited about, because we continue to hear about the cool things produced here locally, is Made Here. And this is, again, just as it sounds, the things that are created or produced, manufactured here, taking the time to visit those locations. Park 100 is another great example of getting behind the scenes to see how those things work. There's Franco, who's in the industrial park, who produces the red wax for Maker's Mark. So just having an opportunity to have a conversation with them. I just recently toured Botcher, and so hearing the various industries that they're servicing and the rollers that they're creating to For example, I saw rollers that were specific to Reese's candy bars. I didn't know that they produced rollers that would imprint that type of ink onto the wrappers, or producing rollers that are supplying the solar industry, helping to roll on the films onto the solar panels. So really going to use that video series to highlight the things that are done here and help provide some awareness of the cool activities that are taking place in Tipton. The third new opportunity is the podcast. So this is going to be obviously more digital in nature, conversation based, but spending the time to talk with some local leaders, some local business owners, even maybe some regional leaders who can help share some insights into the local economy or trends that we're seeing in either economic development, business, human resources, technology, a whole slew of opportunities here that we hope to explore in 23. But of course, we'll need sponsorships for that. So then one of the unique things about the podcast is this minute on the mic. This is actually an opportunity for someone to purchase advertising space. So as we're doing the podcast, we'll have these recorded sessions where myself or whoever's helping host this will actually spend a moment to talk about the sponsoring business and give them 60 seconds of advertising space. So we're hoping that our membership will see that as a huge benefit and opportunity to help communicate and extend their brand awareness in Tipton County and beyond. So as we back up again, going down, moving into social media, I want to jump over, getting to this section because we have a lot of social media opportunities here. Some are new, some are new, and then some are continuations from last year. But jumping over to our analytics from social media, this includes both Facebook and Instagram. Our reach last year was 72,000. Contrasting that to 2021, which I believe was closer to 35, maybe 40,000. So we've nearly doubled that in 2022, and a lot of that success has been, of course, through the hiring of Amanda. Amanda's done a great job managing our social media and making sure that we're consistent and just on message with a lot of the things that we're producing. But then it's also that investment in video that has really helped take us to the next level on social media. And so as we see here, our reach has grown over 300% year over year. Our Instagram has appreciated, has grown over 85%. And then the one negative, I would say, which is in air quotes, is that we didn't pay for any of this last year. All that reach is organic. So while you might be able to see inflated reach analytics from some pages, some of that is paid for, but we didn't pay for any of this last year. This is all organic, our own traction, and it's proof that people are caring about the things that we're posting. And so when working on this, Amanda came up with a great list of opportunities for 2023. We already have some beta testing done on this. For example, this Female Founded Friday, we've already had a couple of these published. Again, this is us beta testing. We wanted to see, will the community respond to this? And in fact, they have in a big way, maybe even exceeded our expectations. But we want to offer the opportunity for someone to sponsor this, to be the presenting sponsor of our Female Founded Friday. And so with that comes some exclusive benefits. Of course, they'll be tagged in all these posts and opportunities to be supporting women leadership in our community. And again, as I mentioned, and I'll jump back into that, scroll down here, just one more. So in that description, in our first couple beta tests, we've had over 3,000 people reached and 500 plus engagements on that beta test that we've had. So people are responding. I think this would be some really great visibility for somebody if they're looking for some visibility on social media. And that presenting sponsorship is $500. So they're going to get a lot of opportunities to get their Facebook page as a company shared numerous times from these posts, and then get the shout outs from the Chamber of Commerce for being such a great supporter of the Chamber. Member Mondays is another new initiative similar to Female Founded Friday that we hope to highlight some of our members as we continue marching throughout the year. We want to be consistent. Sometimes we get so caught up in our own activities that we forget to talk about our members because they are important to us. So we're going to put this on the calendar. We're going to be consistent on making sure that we're spending some time talking about our members and the great things that they're doing. So again, some shareability opportunity here. The price of this, again, is going to be incredibly reasonable. So about $500 for this one as well. And jumping back, Small Business Saturday, again, it's another opportunity for some social media marketing. Small Business Spotlight, this is a continuation. We had this in 2022 and had some success with it as well. So opening this back up to folks for presenting sponsorship, and then for those businesses in the community who want to tell their story, who want that article to be created for them, posted on our website, which remains on our website for perpetuity, but then also shared on our social media channels. So this one, the cost of that is $270. Again, incredibly affordable for those who want to do something but maybe can't be a presenting sponsor, for example. This is a great way to help highlight themselves as a local business and then get that sharing, social media sharing opportunities. And then the final thing in this social media category is an account sponsor. So for all the other activities that we do on social media, offering someone the opportunity to be our presenting sponsor, and that way they get not only a shout out and tagged, but then get recognized as being a strong supporter of the Chamber of Commerce's social media. Again, providing some incredible sharing opportunities for them, introducing them to new clientele that they may or may not know. And then we're not, based on our analytics, our reach is not stopping at Tipton County's borders. This is getting into Kokomo and Hamilton County. So a great opportunity for somebody to sponsor the account here and to get that exposure to other markets. As we continue on leadership development, some new opportunities here as well. I'll start with what's staying the same. The Connect Her. We're changing this one up a little bit. Last year we had quarterly sponsors where they would actually sponsor a session. We're actually going to change this a little bit because we think we can actually be more intentional and provide greater promotion and acknowledgement of these sponsors through changing to a gold and silver sponsor levels. So you'll see those designated there. The presenting sponsorship stays the same with those opportunities that they had, and what a great sponsor New Realty was for us last year, really setting the mark for us. And then the youth leadership program stays the same. So through the success of 22 and seeing the youth leadership program get executed, I really wanted to continue to program this on an annual schedule. So there's some opportunities here, and I will let you know that if we add all these sponsorships up for this youth leadership program, we still technically lose money on programming this. So we're hoping to supplement this with maybe some grant opportunities to help make sure that we can do this. If we can get all the sponsorships sold, of course we're going to do it. But I do want to let you know that this stuff isn't cheap, but it's important to the community. Seeing how passionate these young students were as a result of this leadership program in 2022 really confirmed to me that not only was there a desire within the students to get exposure to this curriculum, but a desire to improve the community. So we're going to continue on with this. We're going to, on the back end, explore some grant opportunities to help make sure that this is a success. But regardless, if we can get the presenting sponsorship, gold sponsorship, and some supporting sold, this will be green lighted for 2023 as well. And then the new opportunity is this Career Expo. The name of this could or could not change, I don't know, but what we really want to do is help introduce students to local businesses. And this is happening already in some degrees, but we want to, there's some examples across the state that I've learned of that make this a lot more engaging than just simply a job fair where I'm going to set up a booth and have these awkward conversations with students. There's some examples of across the state where they've actually made this fun and exciting for students and employers. in the community. So we're going to explore. I still have to iron some of these details out and how this is going to work, and I hope to do that before next week. But this will be a fun and exciting opportunity for our local businesses to get exposure to the schools, both Tipton and Tri-Central, to help begin that conversation of what opportunities, career opportunities exist here, how many of these require continued education beyond high school, and how many don't, because there are a lot of great opportunities that don't require continued education. But then conversely, we also have some great opportunities locally that do require some continued education. So to empower these students with that information, I think will help us attract and retain some of these students after high school. As we get into marketing, the first two are continuations from last year. They can sponsor the board of directors, which again is just largely just a thank you to the board of directors who operate, govern the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber at Work newsletter, this is a continuation from last year. We had some great sponsors last year who signed up for these. Discover Tipton is a new initiative. We had some conversations in 2022 regarding this, and we are actually trying to prep, getting ahead of it, I should say, on the Arbor Homes Home Edition, with an idea that we were going to have potentially 300 new homes in the community. We wanted to get ahead of this and make sure that we were creating materials for them so that when they arrived here, that there was somebody greeting them, extending to them some packet of sorts, a welcome packet that helped introduce them to the community. And so that's what this is. We want to, this will work in a couple of ways. First will be through some really strong relationships with our local realtors, because they're going to be our boots on the ground, helping us to make those introductions. Local lenders will also be a great contact for us. And then some other opportunities, potentially. We're trying to figure out how far our relationships can extend to. So, for example, TMU might also be a great partner on this, helping us to know who's setting up utilities so that we can make those introductions. We don't know yet if that's legal or not, but those are just some ideas. What we are going to do for sure is the realtors and the lenders, creating those relationships so we can stay engaged with them. We think it's a great touch point for the realtors and lenders. If not only can they help get this individual to closing to buy their home here in Tipton, but as a touch point then after the transaction to help alongside the Chamber of Commerce to provide them this packet of information to who are your local utilities, and here are your service providers, here's some local retailers and restaurants, and you keep going on. And that'll make a great impact to this individual and hopefully get them integrated into the community. And then as a hopeful byproduct of this, maybe they'll want to contribute to some of this excitement and activity. Event magnets, so as an acknowledgement from last year, one of the things that we did struggle with, continue to struggle with, is, man, we're just inundated with information. Emails are nuts. And so a lot of our information is getting lost in a lot of that noise. And so a unique idea that we created was the idea of creating quarterly fridge magnets that would highlight the various events that we had going on throughout the year. So our thought is, for an employer, they could put this magnet right on the fridge in their break room. It gives exposure to all the employees who may utilize that break room, and then therefore increase the participation at our networking events, our business education opportunities, leadership development opportunities, and anything else that we might be successful in doing in 2023. Another cool opportunity that we want to launch this year that I don't think the Chamber has ever done before is a member orientation. So what we have now is a lot of members who ask or need a refresher on what their membership actually contains, what opportunities are they allowed as a result of their membership. And so we're going to host 2 of these per year, one in spring, one in fall roughly, and spend that time to refresh our membership orientation. This will be both for new members who join the Chamber of Commerce to help them understand exactly how to get involved in the Chamber of Commerce. So some of this will be a 101, for example. So making them aware of our events and networking opportunities, leadership development opportunities, but then also some of the other maybe lesser known activities or advocacy efforts to, if you've got a hearing before the Board of Zoning Appeals for signage or some variance of sorts, you can request our assistance or at least allow us to review the information to see if this is an activity that we, the Chamber of Commerce, can support. And that's what we want to do. We want to be a supporter of the Chamber members. So things like that people don't often utilize us for. A lot of times we just hear through the grapevine that these meetings like this are taking place, and then we, on our own accord, show up in support of. But if we had members who are reaching out to us more proactively, seeking our help and guidance, that'll make all of us more successful, and that's what we want to do. Moving into community initiatives, these are the same as last year. So Superstar Teacher, Teacher Appreciation, both of these were incredibly successful for us. Not only did the teachers appreciate the Superstar Teacher on a monthly basis, but then the teacher appreciation, the feedback we received from this was incredible. The cookies, I don't know if we've got a picture of the cookies yet. I'll be sure to get that. There's some examples of some pictures that we took of the actual cookies that we created, and some of them had stickers on the plastic bag that the cookies were wrapped in. That really helped set the bar for this, and with some great exposure into the schools for each of these businesses. So that was really great. And again, the teachers and the school administrators all appreciated this. It allowed the school administrators on the Superstar Teacher, for example, it allowed them to visit the classrooms on an unscheduled opportunity to help celebrate these teachers. And not that they're not already celebrating these teachers, but it's a really cool way for them to get engaged in the process too. And it provided everybody with some great social media content. And then the last one we have here, as we did last year, our memberships. And this is largely for the businesses that you may chat with that maybe you find out aren't chamber members, or maybe you know they're not chamber members. And it's a question of why not? Look at all these cool things that we're getting done in this community as a result of our chamber. And don't you want to be part of that team? So these memberships here, the Essential, Connect, Growth, and Influence for 2023, the Essential is a $200 membership. These are all tier-based. There's very little requirements. So these are largely self-select. But an Essential, it is specific to companies who have less than 10 employees. So those are the companies who are just starting out, getting their feet under them and really building that growth. And then the Connect starts at $350. Our Growth is $750. And then the Influence is $1,500. And I'll just share with you that in 2022, the average new chamber membership actually was between the Growth and Influence level. The value anyway. So it was greater than $750 on average, but less than $1,500, which is really great information for the Chamber of Commerce. It suggests that people not only see the activity that we're doing, but those who are joining us after the fact want us to continue to be successful and to do the activities that we're doing. So we're really proud of that metric as well. So that's a really high level overview of the activities, the programs, events, networking opportunities, leadership development, business education that we've got going on, planned for 2023. As a reminder, if something doesn't get sponsored in this list, we're simply not going to do it, because the beauty of the TRC is it's giving us information on the front end. If for example, in 2023, the award celebration doesn't get a sponsorship, zero. To us, we're going to read into that the community has said, look, it's a great idea. We're just not interested right now. We're going to say, look, we're going to listen to you, and we're going to put that on pause. Maybe we can work on fine-tune that a little better, or pivot it in a way that you do find a value, and we'll reintroduce it next year. So it's important that if there's things on here that you as a volunteer see a value, be sure to have those conversations with your friends and local businesses, because we're excited with the success we had in 2022. We think we're going to have even greater success in 23, really just continuing that success that we've embarked on. And we think that we can make a lot of great impact in Tipton in 2023. If you have any questions regarding this information, please don't hesitate to reach out. I know some of you are going to be absent on next Tuesday, so I'm hoping that this can help give you some information, or at least an overview of what we've got going on, our goals for next year, and then we'll just get ready to get to work on February 1st. We'll see you later.